Go on, girl. Get it, honey. Look at her. So, this is the first lady. Y'all see this outfit. Everybody had a lot to say about this outfit. So, the Pastor Jamal Bryant, honey, he is going off, okay? So, I want you guys to hear what he has to say. Afterwards, I'm going to tell y'all what I got to say at the Messy Sweet Spot. All right? Get them likes up, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that Cash App if you really effing with me. Check this out.
There's a double standard in church when it relates to women, and it's abysmal hypocrisy. You got outer shape preachers who rail on modesty but have never preached a sermon on obesity and gluttony. Our misogyny has become institutionalized and cloaked under spirituality. Today, if a man falls out at the altar, you will let him lay there. But if a woman lays out at the altar, you'll pull out more sheets than Bed Bath and Beyond. In the black church tradition, in case you did not know, in the church that you were raised in the black church that you were raised in, ushers coming down the aisle had to put their hand behind their back. That was, in fact, instituted for female ushers so that men who were sitting on the aisle would not be attracted to look at their derriere. So they had to put their hand behind their back to block the eyes of nasty deacons who couldn't keep focus on the cross. We have placed the full responsibility of warding off temptation on women without putting a demand of sexual discipline on men. We have swallowed an Americanized rape culture. The American rape culture asked women first, what were they wearing? As if the hemline is an invitation to violation. So no correction for brothers in tight pants. No correction for brothers who got their shirts unbuttoned all the way to their belly button. No correction for brothers wearing the tight shirts even when it's wintertime. Be very clear that the Jezebel spirit is not gender specific. There are Jezebels and there is Jarrell. Because there's a double standard in church.
Ooh, honey, didn't he preach? I would say, when I first saw this clip, I was not on his side, but he got me when he talked about the wide back pastors, okay? He got me when he talked about how these big back pastors, these fat people up here in the church, and they preaching the word of God and Christianity stuff. And you know, Christianity, you should not be obese because you ain't going to heaven if you fat. Okay, I didn't say it. That's what the word says. And the word says that if you are out here fornicating and having bastard kids like a lot of y'all are, you are cursing your kids and you are not blessed, honey. That's what the word says in the Christianity stuff. But if you ain't Christian, you don't got to worry about it because that ain't your belief, okay? You got to believe it in order for it to be present in your life. Now, when I saw this picture of his first lady, you know, I liked it. She's cute, but I was raised in religion, Christianity, and I'm so glad that I left that shit. Okay, I would say that. But I would say how I was raised up in that women should not dress like this. It's slutty. I was raised to feel that, you know, it's emasculating a man. A first lady should not be dressing like this. She should not just be dressing like the woman of the streets or, worldly women. You should see a big difference between the first lady and the women of God versus the people of the world. However, fast forward, religion and Christianity, they always change. If you do your history and your research, you will know that. I have done my research and my history, and they always change depending on the times. So I personally, I'm not offended. Do you? But I was groomed to have a disdain for women. I was raised to have a dislike for women that dress like this in the church or see women that dress like this as sluts and degrade them as lesser than. I don't feel that way. That's not in my heart. But raised up in that Christian world, I was raised to judge other people and look down on other people that did not fit a certain mode. So I'm glad that he spoke up for her. He spoke up for his wife. And the church really can't say anything about anybody because they're all fucked up, literally. Okay. Every time I turn on my news, there's always a pastor stealing from the people, fornicating, messing with prostitutes. They do the worst of it. And then they try to say, well, it's a mistake. He's just human. Bullshit. See, I was raised that nobody's perfect in that religion. Just because you were born in sin and as you're a baby, you're sinful. So you're disgusting. That's why you need to get reborn and get washed up and all that bullshit. So, you know, once you, I guess, finish getting cleansed, you're supposed to walk the straight line, in a straight line when you're fighting, when it's called the battle. The battle is you're not giving in and you're actually doing the fornication. The battle is, oh my goodness, I'm thinking about it. I need to rebuke these thoughts out my mind because they're not right. I need to go pray. I need to fast. That's the fight. That's the battle. When you have not given in and you are struggling and you're leaning onto God, and once you lean into God and you pray and you fast, that He will see you through. But when you're going to the altar every Sunday, every week, every month for the same sin, I was raised to believe that that person is playing with God and they're lukewarm, and God would rather have you to be cold or hot, or He would spit you at your mouth. So we didn't respect those type of fake Christians. We felt like they were mocking God because they kept going to the altar call for the same thing, and we didn't respect those type of individuals. We didn't even see them as one of us. So that's just how I was raised. And every person, every religion, even in the Christian world, they all have their different beliefs. So it's really based on what the fuck you believe in your fucking head. Doesn't make it true. It's just your thoughts in your head. So I'm just going based off how I was indoctrinated in that stuff. But outside of that, I say go ahead, do what you gotta do, and get their ass on them big backs because there's so many of them. There's so many fat people up in the church. Get their ass. There's so many fornicators and bastard kids. So get their ass. They can't say shit. Okay? And there's so many liars. Oh my goodness. But honey, I'm gonna look in the comment section and just see what they're saying for a second. I ain't gonna read all of it, just a little bit. People say they agree with him. The wife look amazing to me. I don't see what the big deal was. Okay, well, like I said, how I was raised, indoctrinated in that, we saw her as a whore. We would not respect women like that, even in the street or in the Christian world. We would look at them and look at them as whores, and we would want to judge them, and we would judge them because we want to force them to get into this make believe world. Like we want to force you into heaven, which is so stupid. Why are you forcing anybody when God says in that religion that He gives you free will? but you want to force somebody into a situation and you don't even know what the fuck heaven is like. I mean, the only thing is how we was raised is just to fear hell. It was based off of fear. It wasn't based off of love. It was based off of fear, not wanting to go to hell and feeling like hell was going to be so, oh my God, it's so horrible. I mean, we've never been there. We don't know if it's real or not. It's just a belief, you know? And we use that and we weaponize that fear to push on other people to do what we want them to do, to live how we want them to live. And somehow that makes us feel better at night based on what other people do with their life and their choices. But that's just how I was indoctrinated and belief that was forced on me to push out onto other people. But hey, comment, let us know your thoughts. I'm out. Love you guys. If you guys support me, really like my commentary, hit that cash app and make it clap. Pink Lips 500. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.